If you're struggling to figure out how to explain to your kids or grandkids what is happening in our country, you are not alone. Many parents and grandparents aren't sure how to talk about the protests and the violence surrounding the death of George Floyd. Should you say anything at all, or even lie? Tough questions, and that means it's time to bring in friend of the show, our clinical psychologist, Dr. Jeff Gardere. Jeff, always great to see you.
Great to see you, Bill.
Jeff, let's jump right into it. As a parent, I have a history of not lying. I don't like that. I've never been comfortable with that. I think there's always a way to explain the truth to your kids. What do you say?
I think you're absolutely right, Bill. And it's not just because we're friends. You're doing the proper thing. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. A study showed that your kids can absolutely tell when you're covering things over, when you're not being truthful with them, and that causes a communication chasm. So it's best to be honest with your kids as to what's going on. But of course, you need to speak with them in language that is appropriate to their ages.
Doc, let's talk about it from an age perspective, regardless of color. And I know you have that demarcation line is about 8 years old, right? 4 to 8, you're having one conversation. 8 and older, you're having another. What's the difference?
Well, with the younger kids, they may not have the verbal skills, so it's important that you talk with them through drawing and play. They'll let you know what's on their minds, and it's also a perfect time to begin to teach them about the importance of having respect for others. For the older kids, the tweens, the teens, and so on, it's important to sit with them when they're not afraid of having the talk with you, when they're less defensive. So while they're watching TV or on social media, talk with them about race in America. Also being able to help people who are less fortunate, even though we know the majority of police officers are really good people and are there to be of service. There are some bad apples, as we see in any profession, and so it's important to be able to engage in behaviors that may reduce the risk of some sort of an incident.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Bill.